This is lesson 6.7 in elementary algebra. It has to do with proportions. This is the last lesson of the semester before we go into intermediate algebra. And we're dealing with proportions. Proportions are two ratios with an equal sign between. So if we have a ratio of 3 to 7, and then we have 6 over 14, we have two ratios brought together with an equal sign. And this works really handy because if you have something like, if you make $12 per hour and you want to find out how much money you make in 40 hours, then you can use proportions to find out what your value of x is. So if you make $12 an hour and you want to find out how much you make in 40 hours, you cross multiply. So 12 times 40 equals 1 times x. Alright, so 12 times 40 is 480, and that equals x. So in 40 hours, you will make $480 if you are making $12 an hour. So proportions can be pretty handy. So let's look at the first example here. And it's really simpler than the one we just did. We have 3 over x equals 6 over 7. So there we have two fractions equal to each other. Cross multiply. 21 equals 6x, divide by 6, divide by 6, x equals 21 over 6, and then we can reduce that. 7 or 3 goes into 21 7 times, 3 goes into 6 2 times. So 7 halves is my answer. So this number, 7 halves, would go there. So this ratio is the same as that ratio. So this fraction and this fraction are the same in example 2. Let's keep moving here. Sometimes I get carried away and I want to prove some things, but you're not really interested in me proving this. Alright, x plus 1 over 2 equals 3 over x. Again, cross multiply. So this is going to give me x squared plus x equals 6. Set that equal to 0 because I have an exponent of 2. So I want to make that into a quadratic equation like that. Then I can take and 3 and 2 plus and minus equals 0. So x is negative 3 or positive 2. So both of these numbers, if I put in here, will make this side equal to this side. So let's do this. So let's put negative 3 in. So I just put negative 3 in for the x. Let's see what happens. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 over 2. 3 over negative 3. What is any number over itself? 1. What is any number over itself? 1. So that works. And let's put the 2 in there. So 2 plus 1 equals 3 over, instead of x, we'll put 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Those are both equal to, so they both work. Alright, so that is example 2. Alright, example 3 is a story problem. It's really not very difficult. I think you'll find that these story problems aren't bad. So a manufacturer knows that in a production run, 8 out of, whenever they give you the word out of, that means division line. 8 out of 100 parts are going to be trash. If the machine produces 1,450 parts, how many are going to be defective? Well, we know 8 out of 100 are defective, so x out of 1,450 are going to be defective. So, because we have the defective up here, we have to have the defective here. Because we have the total here, we have to have the total there. Then we cross multiply. So we have 100x equals 8 times 1450. So that is 100x equals 8 times 1450 is 11,600. Divide by 100. Get rid of that 100. And then if we cancel these two and these two zeros, then we have 116. That's how many defective parts out of 1,450 total parts. Alright, so let's jump to example number 4. Getting down there, not many left here. So example 4, the scale on a map indicates 1 inch on the map corresponds to an actual distance of 85 miles. So 1 inch is equal to 85 miles. So 1 is to 85. Two cities are 3.5 inches apart. So we have inches on the top, miles on the bottom, equals line. So because I have inches on the top, I have to have inches on the top here. So two cities are 3.5 inches apart. What is the actual distance between the two cities? So they want miles. Well, I have miles on bottom, and that's what I'm looking for. So now I have 1 times x equals 3.5 times 8.5. Okay? And when I multiply those together, I get x equals 297.5 miles. Okay, let's do one more and we'll call it good for this lesson and this semester. Example 5. A woman drives her car 270 miles in 6 hours. In 6 hours. So for every 6 hours. If she continues at the same rate, how far will she travel in 10 hours? So again, equal. We have hours on the bottom. We have to have hours on the bottom on the right-hand side, so we get our 10. And we're looking at how far she's going. Cross multiply. Okay. Divide by 6, divide by 6, so we have x equals 2,700 divided by 6 is 450 miles. Okay, that's it for lesson 6.7, and I don't think you're going to have too much trouble with these. These aren't really too bad. Key thing with the story problems, make sure whatever unit you're using here, you're going to have on the top here. Hours here, and that will keep these from getting mixed up and keep you from getting confused about which one gets which one. But that's it for lesson 6.7.